Well, folks, welcome to Dow's Weekly Digest. You know, before sunrise, I get up and I bike a few miles. And I've been seeing the neighbors. And by that I mean I've been seeing the does with their fawns, and sometimes the doe even have twins. And then now I've been seeing, the last 2 days, I saw some buck, and they had the velvet on their antlers. And they're not really afraid. And probably more than I want to count of bunnies. I like my bunnies, but it seems like I think there's too many rabbits. A question came to me, Dow, where do you get your news, your source? Subscribe to a thing called Smart Brief. And Smart Brief, you can itemize the different things that you want to get daily news on. And so I use that. I don't listen to the 4 national news. Examples, CNN or ABC or NBC, any of those, okay? But I do listen to news, again, from live streaming or run on Dish, getting it that way. I get news from London, Panama, China, Japan, and I get news from Israel. Podcasts, radio news from South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, and New Jersey. But it's interesting. Example, China, they are having terrible floods, folks. I mean, it is terrible there, the floods that are happening there. And yesterday they do a national testing over the whole country of China on college entrance. All those kids will take their tests at the same time across the whole country of China. They're trying to be placed where? In the good old USA colleges. And there were some of them with this floods, they couldn't make it. Some of them left 2 weeks ahead of time to get to the testing place to make sure that they were going to be there. But it's news like that, I think, that gives me kind of a panoramic view of the world out there. So those are my sources. Well, the words for today is protection and preparation. Really 2 items that we do, don't we, in our industry. But you know, the consumer needs to look at doing that too. And we can help them do that. But first, let's go with some Cowboy Wisdom. You might be a Lutheran if, and some South Dakota trivia. Cowboy Wisdom. May your fences always be horse high, pig tight, and bull strong. And I don't know, I've had to do it a couple times, I remember as a kid, is all of a sudden we get news, hey, the livestock is out. And oh my goodness sake, it never is at the best time for it to happen, and you wonder how in the heck they got out. So may your fences be, what? Horse high, pig tight, and bull strong. You might be a Lutheran if all your casserole dishes have your name written on the bottom of it. And believe me, I think that's a true Lutheran one there. Maybe even Grandma might agree to that one. May all your casserole dishes have your name already put them on. And how about South Dakota trivia? 1965, a gentleman from Sisseton, South Dakota, he decided that he was going to start a professional football team. And raising the money, he wasn't going to do any government bonds or anything, no city bonds to do this. It's 1965. His name is Robbie. Joe Robbie started the Miami Dolphins. And again, he did it, folks, with private funds. He did not do it with any government funds at all. And you know what? In 1973, the Miami Dolphins not only won the Super Bowl, but they also, that whole season, were undefeated. And it started with Joe Robbie in Sisseton, South Dakota. And he brought those South Dakota values there when he started the Miami Dolphins. Now I said that the word for today, or words for today, was what? Protection and preparation. Let's see a little bit what the Bible has to say about those words there. I'm looking at Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 to 18. It starts out with, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God, Kind of preparation there, folks. Okay. So that you may take on your stand against the devil's schemes. And then it goes on and describes like a Roman soldier's armor. That's kind of the object lesson that Paul uses. And he talks first about the shield of faith. Then we go to what? The gospel of peace. And that's the feet wear. So making sure that you're going to stand firm. And then he moves to the helmet of salvation. And then the breastplate of righteousness. And then he says the belt of truth, the girth. And finally we move to the sword of the Spirit, the Roman sword. And you know that is an offensive weapon, not just a defensive weapon. All the other things I've described in preparing ourselves for what defensive to take on evil, but the sword, the Word of God, which is the sword, is in an offensive weapon. So indeed, we see that the Bible does have something to say about what? Protection and preparation. Well, also the good old Bible mentions about angels. Beware when you provide hospitality to strangers, because you may be entertaining angels. So the Bible mentions angels, and folks, I believe in angels. I was a young teenager, and I had a horse. The horse's name was Tonka. Tonka, we were at a farm, and we were going to go out. He asked us to go out and get the cattle. Never been on that part of his farm before. And as I was going out, we were by a creek, and we were following a cow path on this creek. And as we went part of the way, all of a sudden, Tonka and myself fell into a ravine. And when I hit that side bank, folks, it knocked the wind out of me. Now, I don't know if you've ever had that done. I had never had that done before. I thought I was going to die, just grasping for air and everything. And in the meantime, Tonka's going down the ravine a little bit more. And then he's making all kinds of notions, and I'm trying to breathe. And I believe that I was going to die, folks, right there. And then lo and behold, at the bottom of the ravine was hog wire. Hog wire. It caught in Tonka's hoofs. He could not get himself out, but he was struggling. And I finally got my breath. I went on down, calmed him down. The other riders saw that I disappeared. They come over and they see what happened. And so then they go and they get a tractor. We get a rope around Tonka's neck. I swear his neck's stretched out. And we got him out. And to that day, boy, when we'd be riding, I lost some of his trust, because boy, his old head would go down and everything, and looking at different places and everything like that. But oh, folks, they said, if I would have went on over and went down there first, and that horse on top of me, and him trying to get out, I probably would not be here today. I swear, I think a guardian angel had me hit that bank. So that was as a young teenager. Right after that, and LaDonna can attest to that, we went to Sioux City, Iowa, and I went and got a cross. And to this day, I don't go anywhere, folks, that I am not wearing a cross. I am wearing a cross to give thanks and other things right here. Right here's the one I'm wearing right now. I wear them out and then I change. But boy, that was something. Well, later in my life, you think, well, okay, he's going to have experience. He's going to get better. Well, my college days, it was summer, and I was working with my to-be father-in-law on a county bridge crew. Well, we were decking a bridge, a county bridge. And so we were taking off the old planks and laying deck down of new ones. And we were pulling this old plank up, and it wouldn't come. So the cable was pulling on this plank, and my father-in-law was running that boom truck, and he says, "Dow, get the crowbar and put it loose." So I did that, but dummy, folks, I stood on that plank, reaching down to loosen that thing. When that did, folks, that nail let loose, and what the tension of that cable, they said, Dow, you flew higher than any acrobat that ever lived. They said you did a perfect somersault, and you lit over here in the bank. And when I lit in the bank, it was where we had dug out before. It was all loose dirt. They said if I would have landed anywhere else, I mean, there were shovels, there were other things out. Again, I could have been paralyzed or you name it. And dumb me, I was standing on the plank, loosening it. So the guardian angel was working overtime there. So yes, we all need protection, and we all need to look at preparation. And that's what Protective Life, one of our premier carriers, helps us with. Protective Life is 113 years old. Why are they in financial markets portfolio? Well, as I said, the preparation tools that they have to provide protection. We've heard here recently in 2020 even more of the phrase e-application. Folks, they are premier in their e-application. They now have texting involved, where if they need to set a reminder to your client, they'll do the texting for you to remind them of that on the client getting back or not getting back, which is excellent there. Okay. They have voice signature, e-signatures. Again, right at the forefront there. They have e-policy delivery and e-signatures involved there. So again, they have that preparation tool that once you've discovered the need for protection, we're going to be able to do it and make it simple, fast, and convenient. So that's one tool. I just barely touched on the simplicity and convenience of that e-application. Be sure to contact our internal wholesaler to get more information. For term, okay, we have a short-term need that the client needs. Folks, they'll go from 10 years to 40 years. They also will then help maybe with the objection or down the road objection of, let's call it, sticker shock. If I have that 10-year premium on typical term products out there, what happens the 11th year? Coverage remains the same, and the premium then escalates. It goes into maybe an annual renewable term basis. They have the flexibility and the choices that your client can make is that maybe they budgeted that premium. And after that 10th, the 20th, 30th year, they wish that the premium remain the same. And the company says, okay, we can do that. We'll leave the premium the same. On the other side, then the face amount will start to decrease so that we're able to keep that premium the same. Flexibility there. They're still providing what? Protection. On the permanent side, the permanent I'm meaning universal lives and index universal lives. But on that permanent side of the two main products of their UL and IUL, we can go down to $50,000 and still have it be permanent coverage. Then we can get into the word of what? Guarantee. We can guarantee the premium's not going to change. We can guarantee that when you die, we're going to pay the death claim. We can have coverage go, what? In the sense of permanence, to age 100. But you know what, folks? And again, ask your internal wholesaler to run that comparison for you. It's not going to be a whole lot more premium to look at in an index universal life. Then they have the value of what permanent policy has of the living value called cash value. So again, they're providing us the preparation tools for the protection and the flexibility in doing so. Riders, they'll have the typical living benefits for chronic illness, this. But they also have some riders that maybe is a little bit unique. Return a premium. And it can go from 25% to 100%, depending on the product itself. An income provider. So there's the insured owner, their name of beneficiary, and they can help even plan for the proceeds at their death when the beneficiary is going to receive it. Meaning this income provider can what? Provide income to the beneficiary, meaning that the whole lump sum face amount doesn't need to be paid out all at once. Folks, I've seen somewhere there have been some stories I've heard and been involved with where beneficiaries receive some large sums and you look 2 years later and it's gone. It's gone. I mean, it's like a magnet. All of a sudden, man, they have cousins coming from all over the place. Income provider. The owner can help with the future planning for that beneficiary with the income provider. That's kind of unique, folks. It's something that you'd want to talk to our internal wholesaler about. So these are protection tools that we have from Protective Life. That's, folks, why they're in our portfolio. That's why they're one of our premier carriers. We're able to bring you those valuable tools to help you prepare your clients for the protection that they think is important. Well, how about some recommendations now? What have you got for recommendations? Well, the words are protection and preparation. So let's start out with the poem. The poem is entitled, I Shall Protect the Forest. And the author is Lenore Hetricks. And let me share with you just a couple lines. Have you ever really looked at trees and seen their perfect beauty? If you have, you know that their protection is a stern and sacred duty. Beautiful poem. Protection. How about a song? Well, I told you folks, I believe in angels and I believe in guardian angels. And this is a song. And I would highly recommend that you would go to the YouTube to see it. The band is Alabama. The song is, oh yes, I believe there are angels among us. Angels among us. And in this YouTube, folks, you will see pictures of live people that had experiences of help. Oh yes, there are angels among us by Alabama. Beautiful song. The movie came out in 1997 and was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. It is La Vita è Bella. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. And you're going to see how a father then protects his family and how it took preparation for him to protect his family. Now, in all transparency, I will let you know, this being a foreign film, there are subtitles. But the visual content that you get, and there are some things that are being done, folks, that are universally, and you don't need to know the words. You know from just seeing it. But beautiful, beautiful movie. The book, years back, one of our associates actually read this book that I recommended. But it is from Zig Ziglar, Raising Positive Kids in a Negative World. Mr. Ziglar does an excellent job there. The video that we have, it comes from, you guessed it, Protected. And it covers protection and preparation. So I hope you enjoy this protective video. Keep in mind maybe this power phrase to kind of go with this video. Life insurance is the shield to meet the blow that you can't see coming. The preparation.
Life insurance is all about protection, security for your loved ones when they need it most. This protection can help meet long-term needs, like family income replacement, covering your mortgage, children's education, retirement income for your surviving spouse, protecting your business, and estate planning. There are 2 basic types of life insurance to consider. Term, a more cost-effective option that provides pure death benefit protection for a specific period of time. And permanent, a lifetime option that provides additional value beyond the death benefit. No matter which type you decide on, the essence of how life insurance works is the same. You pay a recurring cost called premiums. If you pass away while your policy is in effect, your loved ones will get a sum of money that is usually tax-free, so they can keep living their lives and not give up on their dreams. In addition, you'll want to choose an insurance company that's strong and stable. Protective Life's strength began more than 100 years ago and continues today. Today, Protective Life protects more than 8.6 million customers, and in 2018 alone, over 72,000 families received the protection of life insurance with death benefit claims totaling more than $3.4 billion. We're proud of our strength and stability, but even more proud of the products we offer to meet real challenges and events over your lifetime. In other words, our insurance is designed to stand the test of life. Life is complicated, but protecting it shouldn't be. Work with a life insurance professional who will help you find the right protection for your needs.
Did you see the shield and how the shield covers then the different things that are very important to the client, to your client? What I liked about it, folks, is it used the KISS formula. It's very, very simplistic, but yet gets that point across, much like the power phrase. And if you notice when it started and maybe at the end, you could contact your internal wholesaler, and we can then customize that with your name, your logo. It's all set there. That's another advantage in the tools that Protective brings. They have a lot of flyers and other things where they're all set, folks, where all we have to do is put in your logo. So I hope you have a good week and look forward to seeing you again. Remember now, folks, blessed are they that ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called what? Insurance agents. And for all this preparation that needs to be done and the protection, just remember what? GP for you. It's G. Take care.